Good morning, swim fans. Welcome to the final day of the 2024 Iowa Swimming Short Course Championships. We are excited for a big day. It's going to be awesome. We are starting with event 31. We're going all the way through to the mile. We're glad you're here. We will begin in just a little bit. This is event 31, the women's 100-yard freestyle, heat 1. We've got 11 heats for event 31 today. In heat 1, we've got Haley Stainbrook for the Destroyers in lane 3, Ellie Junk in lane 4 for Linmar, and for CIA, Ava Owenson is in lane 5. Heat 2 for event 31. Heat 2 in the water, Sienna Steck for DMSF is in lane 1. Dismaying for iFly is in lane 2. Kramer for CIA in lane 3. Aspen Fenton for DSMY is in lane 4. Vilhauer for DSMY is in lane 5. Cunningham for NSST in lane 6. And Koenigsfeld for DMSF in lane 7. Heat 3. Anna Chase, DMSF, is in lane 1. Sorsha Miller is in lane 2 for iFly. Elena Vasky for DSMY is in lane 3. Haven Klein, DSMY lane 4. Harper Barton, unattached, in lane 5. Sophia Kelly Bettendorf in lane 6. Lydia Remmert for Blast in lane 7. And Maddie Pearsall for Co is in lane 8. Heat 4. All right, we're still in event 31. This is heat 4 of 11 heats. Quinn Ramaker for DMSF is in lane 1. Amelia Surma, Bettendorf, lane 2. Maura Karstensen, iFly is in lane 3. Molly Snyder for Dash in lane 4. Hannah Ford in 5 for DMET. Kate Christensen for Riptide is in lane 6. Amy Hip is in lane 7 for the Piranhas. And for ACAC, Lily Vanderlinden in lane 8. Heat 5. That's Jenna Farwell in lane 1 for Bettendorf. For the Piranhas in lane 2, Addie Kettner. Nora Landon for iFly is in lane 3. Kaylin Torrance for DSMY in lane 4. Piper Jivak for Atumwa in lane 5. Kira Zinn for DSMY in lane 6. In lane 7, Livy Hopewell, DMET. And in lane 8, Alex Powers for ACAC. Heat 6. Mackenzie Lumadou for DSMY is in lane 1. Paige Wilson for Blast in lane 2. In lane 3, Emma Mason also for Blast. Aspen Cole for Mason City Swim Club is in lane 4. Isabella Friesen for iFly in lane 5. Alexandra Sheehan for Dash in lane 6. Lane 7 has Gabby Queertney for iFly. And in lane 8, Gretchen Gerke for iFly. We're halfway through event 31. Heat 7. Lily Inktel for iFly is in lane 1. Abby Selden for Piranhas is in lane 2. Amelia Habgood for DSMY is in lane 3. Liv Gustafson for Bettendorf in lane 4. Dylan Hoganson is in lane 5 unattached. In lane 6, Jordan Fertig for the Ram Swim Club. Haley Weinheimer is in lane 7 for NSST. And Tori Kettles is in lane 8, DSMY. Heat 8. That's Leah Mason for Blast in lane 1. Surrey Hansen for ACAC is in lane 3. Sassy Hackett for DMSF is in lane 4. Kate Trosper, CIA, is in lane 5. Riley Snickenberg for ACAC in lane 6. In lane 7, Allie Hance, iFly. And in lane 8, Kate Van Zee, DSMY. Heat 9. In the water is Colby Reese for iFly in lane 1. Adonai Sheehan for Dash in lane 2. In lane 3, Avery Bilskemper for iFly. In lane 4, Hannah Cousins, Piranhas. Lane 6, Hayden Bailey, DSMY. Lane 7 is Charlotte Qualley for DSMY. And Tabitha Tallman is in lane 8 for the Piranhas. They're dropping like flies now. My goodness.
Next heat 8, DFS.
Why do they not put it on mine?
Good question.
I'm the one who's supposed to watch to see who's there.
14, we'll work together.
Heat 10. Athiano Wandera for DSMY is in lane 1. Riley Gushkovich for DSMY in lane 2. Anna Huss, CIA, in lane 3. Nora Kemp, also CIA, in lane 4. Willa Haig, CIA, in lane 5. Faith Frantum, CIA, in lane 6. Mihal Ragwani for Lynn Mars in lane 7. Final heat coming up.
Lane 7 will be a DFS.
Heat 11. All right, this is our final heat. Annie Honkamp is in lane 1 for DMSF. Brinley Willems in lane 2 for DSMY. Hannah Gang in lane 3 for iFly. Grace Hooper, iFly, is in lane 4. In lane 5, Mary Selden for the Piranhas. Jaya Stacy for Bettendorf is in lane 6. And Dawson Green is in lane 8 for the Piranhas. Coming up next will be event 32, the men's 100-yard freestyle. There will be 11 heats for event 32. Next event will start at 9:16. Event 32, the men's 100-yard freestyle, Heat 1. In lane 3, Jonah Fairtig for Ram Swim Club. In lane 4, Jackson Lampy for Dash. And in lane 5, Brody Lemos for Co. Heat 2. Heat 2 of 11 heats is in the water for event 32. We've got Nolan Page for Dash in lane 1. We have Kasaki Matsumura for Bettendorf in lane 2. Luca Fisher is in lane 3, DMSF. In lane 4, Riley Siren Lindmar. Lane 5, Leon Bykoff for DMSF. In lane 6, Calvin Devlin, DMET. And in lane 7, Daniel Repko, Co. Heat 3. Nick Kemp is in the water for CIA in lane 1. Brandon Terry, ACAC in lane 2. Riss Long for iFly is in lane 3. Hank McGuire, Riptide in lane 4. Sheldon Lamb, DSMY in lane 5. In lane 6, Maxwell Deacon, CIA. In lane 7, Landon Chen, DMSF. And in lane 8, Tate Edgington for DMSF. Heat 4. Logan Eastman for CIA is in lane 1. Ethan Herstedt for the Piranhas is in lane 2. Austin Troyer and SST in lane 3. Owen Siren Lindmar is in lane 4. Dylan Lippert for DMSF is in lane 5. William Fry for Dash in lane 6. AJ Miller iFly in lane 7. And Caden Bonner for the Piranhas in lane 8. Heat 5. Briar Pearson for DSMY is in lane 1. Drew Emanuel, DMSF in lane 2. Evan McCorkle, ACAC in lane 3. Ashton Jivak, Atumwa is in lane 4. Brady Snetzelar for DMSF is in lane 5. Ethan Landon, I Fly in lane 6. Hudson Otis, DMSF in lane 7. And in lane 8, Andrew Honkamp for DMSF. This is heat 5 of 11 for event 32. Heat 6. In lane 1, we have Max Macho, I Fly. Jackson Aaronholtz from Blast is in lane 2. Peter Whitnable for Linmar is in lane 3. Christian Trikel for DMSF in lane 4. In lane 5, Jim Sheehan with Dash. In lane 6 is Shepard West, Mason City. And in lane 7 is Cole Wilson for Blast. Parker Scuffham for DSMY is in lane 8. Heat 7. Brock Peterson in lane 1 for DSMY. Zach Heyer for Dash is in lane 2. Rowan Wallsmith for DMSF is in lane 3. John Trosper for CIA is in lane 4. Lane 5, Nikolai Silkin for CIA. In lane 6, Jared Herber, unattached. In lane 7, Hunter Davis, DSMY. And Harrison Amy for DSMY is in lane 8. Heat 8. Jacob Wieland is in lane 1, DSMY. Ian McCorkle for ACAC in lane 2. Desmond Ortega, Rams Swim Club in lane 3. Eli DeYoung in lane 4 for DMSF. Winston Fan for iFly is in lane 5. In lane 6, Legan CZ for CAST. In lane 7, John Cottrell for iFly. And in lane 8, Mateo Surma for the Piranhas. Heat 9. Heat 9 of 11 is in the water. We have Charlie Jacobs for the Piranhas in lane 1. Jameson Gray for iFly is in lane 2. Evan Feilmeyer for ACAC in lane 3. Joe Polyak, iFly is in lane 4. Max Gerke, iFly is in lane 5. Hayden Hakes for iFly is in lane 6. Dylan Alt, DSMY in lane 7. And Klein Brock is in lane 8 for CIA. Heat 10. Quinn Winery DMSF in lane 1. Lex Plaisir for DSMY is in lane 2. Tegan Renzi ACAC in lane 3. John Butler Blast in lane 4. William Gorman Piranhas is in lane 5. Kiefer Romer for the Piranhas is in lane 6. Jack Carver DMSF is in lane 7. And in lane 8, Gavin Hopewell for DMET. Our final heat is coming up for event 32. Heat 11. That's Nolan Hunt in lane 1 for DMSF. Also for DMSF, Jacob Pins in lane 2. Nick Rounds for DSMY in lane 3. Philip Barry Stoltzley for iFlies in lane 4. Charlie Bishop, DSMY, is in lane 5. Lane 6 is Ricky Zilmer for the Piranhas. Holden Carter for iFly is in lane 7. And Caleb Stewart for the Piranhas is in lane 8. Event 33, the women's 200-yard individual medley, Heat 1. All right, here we go. We have 9 heats for event 33, the women's 200-yard individual medley. In the water for Heat 1, Cameron Yepkis for iFlies in lane 3. Amy Hip for the Piranhas is in lane 4. And in lane 5, Aspen Fenton for DSMY. All right, I've got your qualifiers from event 31, your finalist qualifiers for the women's 100-yard freestyle for this evening. A qualifiers: Grace Hooper, Nora Kemp, Willa Haig, Avery Billskemper, Faith Frantum, Hayden Bailey, Hannah Gang, and Brinley Woolums. B qualifiers. This is for B for the 100-yard free. Charlotte Qualley, Kate Van Zee, Adonai Sheehan, Hannah Cousins, Anna Huss, Colby Reese, Riley Gutkovich, Athiano Wandera. And C qualifiers: Dylan Hoganson, Liv Gustafson, Mary Selden, Jaya Stacy, Annie Honkamp, Kate Trosper, Mihal Ragwani, and Dawson Green. Your alternates are Tabitha Tallman and Kaylin Torrance. The time is 9:30. You have 30 minutes to scratch. Heat 2. Heat 2 of 9. In the water, we have Kaylin Torrance for DSMY in lane 1. Hannah Ford is in lane 2 for DMET. Keegan Dunham for DSMY in lane 3. Sarah Assad for CIA is in lane 4. Nora Landon in lane 5 for iFly. In lane 6, Alex Powers for ACAC. Athiana Wandera for DSMY is in lane 7. And Jordan Fertig for Ram Swim Club is in lane 8. Heat 3. This is Heat 3 for Event 33, the women's 200-yard individual medley in the water. Ellie Hancock for CIA in lane 1. Isabel Ernstberger in lane 2 for CIA. In lane 3, Megan O'Neill, iFly. In lane 4, Maisie Dewar, Dash. In lane 5 is Emerson Serbin for CIA. Kylie Smith is in lane 6 for DMSF. Abigail Reed, CIA, in lane 7. And Jenny Hedinger is in lane 8 for DMSF. Heat 4. That's Malin Woltz in lane 1 for Blast. In lane 2, Jenna Farwell for Bettendorf. In lane 3, Molly Snyder, Dash. Mackenzie Lumaju is in lane 4 for DSMY. In lane 5, Alexandra Sheehan for Dash. Charlie DeYoung is in lane 6, DMSF. Kennedy Catman for CIA is in lane 7. And Sophia McDevitt is in lane 8, DMSF. Finals qualifiers for event 32 for the men's 100-yard freestyle for tonight. These are the finals qualifiers for event 32. A finals, Nick Rounds, Joe Polyak, John Butler, Charlie Bishop, Ricky Zilmer, William Gorman, Jacob Pins, Hayden Hakes. B finalist qualifiers, Max Gerke, Tegan Renty, Kiefer Romer, Jamison Gray, Caleb Stewart, Winston Fan, Holden Carter, and John Trosper. C qualifiers, Philip Barry Stolzel, Ian McCorkle, Dylan Alt, Klein Brock, Evan Filemeyer, Charlie Jacobs, Ashton Jivak, and Quinn Winery. Alternates, Lex Plaisier and Zach Heyer. Those are your finalist qualifiers for event 32, the men's 100-yard freestyle. The time is 9:38. You have 30 minutes to scratch. Heat 5. Maura Karstensen is in lane 1 for iFly. Grace Hare for Mason City is in lane 2. Layla Breitbach for Lynn Mars in lane 3. Avery Herman in lane 4 for DSMY. Emma Pop for DSMY is in lane 5. Ella Bobbledike for Blast in lane 6. Mary Honkamp is in lane 7 for DMSF. And Amelia Surma for Bettendorf is in lane 8. We're about halfway through event 33, women's 200-yard individual medley. Heat 6. Adonai Sheehan is in lane 1 for Dash. Kimber Corwin for CIA is in lane 2. Liv Gustafson for Bettendorf in lane 3. Avery Billskemper iFly is in lane 4. Amber Jacobs for Blast in lane 5. Quinn Ramaker for DMSF is in lane 6. Anna Huss in lane 7 for CIA. And Paige Wilson for Blast in lane 8. Heat 7. Cameron Steining is in lane 1 for the Piranhas. In lane 2, Quinn Malamoreno for DMSF. Grace Hooper is in lane 3 for iFly. In lane 4, Hannah Cousins for the Piranhas. In lane 5, Anya Peck, DSMY. Hayden Bailey for DSMY is in lane 6. And in lane 7 is Hannah Gang for iFly. We have a few more heats yet for event 33, the women's 200-yard individual medley. Heat 8. Ellie Hans is in lane 1 for iFly. Jaya Stacy for Bettendorf is in lane 2. Dylan Hoganson unattached in lane 3. Annie Honkamp in lane 4 for DMSF. Nora Kemp, CIA, in lane 5. Reese Weiner for ACAC in lane 6. Mihal Ragwani for Linmar is in lane 7. And Mary Flickema for Blast in lane 8. Heat 9. Final heat is in the water for event 33. Julia Eastman in lane 1 for Fort Dodge. In lane 2, Adeline Lee for CIA. Dawson Green is in lane 3 for the Piranhas. In lane 4, Willa Haig, CIA. In lane 5, Andra Robertson for ACAC. Kate Van Zee for DSMY is in lane 6. Aspen Cole, Mason City in lane 7. And Jaylee Vober is in lane 8 for Northeastern Swim Team. Event 34, the men's 200-yard individual medley, Heat 1. Austin Troyer for Northside Swim Team is in lane 3. Quentin Moore for CIA is in lane 4. Riley Siren for Linmar is in lane 5. This is heat 1 of 8 heats for event 34, the men's 200-yard individual medley. Heat 2. Nick Kemp is swimming in lane 1 for CIA. Brady Hartsock for Blast in lane 2. In lane 3, Hank McGuire, Riptide. In lane 4, Bodie Logston for DMET. In lane 5, Sheldon Lamb, DSMY. Lane 6, Hudson Otis, DMSF. And in lane 7, Will Van Zee for DSMY. Heat 3. Mateo Surma for the Piranhas is in lane 1. Aiden Rowe, Piranhas in lane 2. Drew Diekey for DSMY in lane 3. Nikolai Paulson for iFly is in lane 4. Desmond Ortega, Rams in lane 5. Lane 7, Joseph Blazen, Blast. And in lane 8, William Fry for Dash. Heat 4. We're halfway through event 34, the men's 200-yard individual medley. In lane 1, Nolan Hunt for DMSF. Briar Pearson is in lane 2 for DSMY. Ricky Zilmer for the Piranhas is in lane 3. In lane 4, Shepard West, MACR Sharks. In lane 5, AJ Miller, iFly. In lane 6, Charlie Jacobs, Piranhas. In lane 7, Jackson Arnholtz, Blast. And in lane 8, Joe Struizow for DMSF. I have your finals qualifiers for event 33, the women's 200-yard individual medley. These are your finals qualifiers for this evening. A finals qualifiers: Annie Honkamp, Willa Haig, Hayden Bailey, Nora Kemp, Grace Hooper, Anya Peck, Andrea Robertson, and Dylan Hoganson. B finals qualifiers for event 33: Kate Van Zee, Dawson Green, Avery Billskemper, Cameron Steining, Mary Honkamp, Adeline Lee, Quinn Moreno, and Reese Weiner. And your C qualifiers: Hannah Cousins, Jaylee Vober, Hannah Gang, Adonai Sheehan, Julia Eastman, Emma Pop, Anna, and Mary Flickema. Your alternates are Mackenzie Lumadou and Kimber Corwin. The time is 10:01. You have 30 minutes to scratch. Heat 5. Brandon Terry is in lane 1 for ACAC. Ashton Givak for Tumwa in lane 2. John Cottrell for iFly in lane 3. Dylan Lippert for DMSF is in lane 4. Andrew Honkamp, DMSF, is in lane 5. Cooper Ortega for Rams in lane 6. Zach Winger for Dash in lane 7. And Jackson Smith for DMSF is in lane 8.
Heat 6. In the water for iFly in lane 1 is Jamison Gray. Lane 2 from DSMY is Owen Schwabach. Lane 3 from iFly is Winston Fan. And lane 4 is Hayden Hakes from iFly. And lane 5 from Davenport Metro is Eric Ding. Lane 6 from DSMY, Charlie Bishop. In lane 7 is Jonathan Miller from Ottumwa. And in lane 8 from Cohawk Aquatics is Connor Schafel. Heat 7. In the water in lane 1 from Carroll Area Swim Team is Legan Cease. In lane 2 from DMSF is Wesley Mooney. Lane 3 from Central Iowa Aquatics is Klein Brock. Lane 4 from iFly, Parker Mako. In lane 5 from Blackhawk is Cole Wilson. Lane 6 is Josh Fisher out of ACAC. Lane 7 from Linmar is Hudson Huberg. And in lane 8 from iFly, Philip Barry Stossel.
Heat 8. Jake Dolphin is in lane 1 for Dash. Finn Stugerjurgen for CIA is in lane 2. Brock Peterson, DSMY in lane 3. Owen Chiles for iFly is in lane 4. William Gorman in lane 5 for the Piranhas. In lane 6, Holden Carter for iFly. Lathan Schwickerath for DSMY is in lane 7. And Landon Chen in lane 8 for DMSF. This is our final heat for event 34. Coming up will be event 35, the women's 200-yard backstroke. This is event 35, the women's 200-yard backstroke, heat 1. We have 8 heats for event 35. Heat 1 is in the water. Charlie Vilhauer for DSMY is in lane 2. Maddie Frantum in lane 3 for CIA. In lane 4, Clara Cunningham, North Side Swim Team. Sophia Kelly is in lane 5 for Bettendorf. In lane 6, Addie Tudor for the Destroyers. And in lane 7, Isabella Friesen for iFly. We are looking for a coach from the Carroll Area Swim Team to come over to the admin table. Carroll Area Swim Team coach, please come to the admin table. Those of you interested in time trials, the time trials deadline is about an hour away at 11:18. If you're interested in a time trial after this session, it costs $12. The deadline to sign up for that is 11:18 a.m., a little over an hour. Heat 2. Kennedy Capman is in lane 1 for CIA. In lane 2, Megan O'Neill for iFly. In lane 3, Lainey Adams for Co. In lane 4, Ava Owenson, CIA. In lane 5, Cameron Cunningham, Piranhas. Swimming in lane 6, Isabella Ernstberger, CIA. For Blast in lane 7 is Paige Wilson. And Quinn Remiker for DMSF is in lane 8. 8-3. In the water, we have Kimber Corwin for CIA in lane 1. Kylie Smith for DMSF is in lane 2. Lizzie Douglas, CIA in lane 3. Julia Eastman for Fort Dodge is in lane 4. Addie Kettner for the Piranhas in lane 5. Sarah Assad for CIA is in lane 6. Abigail Reed, CIA in lane 7. And Marley Kramer, CIA in lane 8. This is event 35. This is heat 3 of 8 heats for the women's 200-yard backstroke. Finals are set for event 32 tonight for the men's 100-yard freestyle. In the C final will be Lex Plaisir, Ashton Jivak, Evan Filemeyer, Dylan Alt, Ian McCorkle, Charlie Jacobs, Quinn Winery, and Zach Heyer. Alternates are Cole Wilson and Gavin Hopewell. In the B final, Holden Carter, Caleb Stewart, Kiefer Romer, Max Gerke, Tegan Renzi, Jameson Gray, Winston Fan, and John Trosper. And your A final swimmers for tonight for event 32, Jacob Pins, Ricky Zilmer, John Butler, Nick Rounds, Joe Polyak, Charlie Bishop, William Gorman, and Hayden Hakes. Heat 4. Heat 4 halfway through. Estella Kunigsfeld for DMSF is in lane 1. Piper Jivak for Atumwa is in lane 2. Val Nunez for Blast is in lane 3. Lily Inktel for iFly in lane 4. Molly Snyder for Dash in lane 5. Tori Kettles for DSMY is in lane 6. Jaylee Duncan for the Piranhas is in lane 7. And Sophia McDevitt for DMSF is in lane 8. We're still looking for a coach from CAST, Carroll Area Swim Team. CAST, coach. If you're a coach from CAST, Carroll Area Swim Team, we need you over at the admin's table. Heat 5. Malin Woltz is in lane 1 for Blast. In lane 2, Irma Mujik for the Destroyers. Tabitha Tallman in lane 3 for the Piranhas. Reese Weiner for ACAC is in lane 4. Katie Stone, CIA, in lane 5. Adeline Lee, CIA, in lane 7. And Lily Vanderlinden for ACAC is in lane 8. Heat 6. Libby Hopewell's in lane 1 for Davenport Metro. In lane 2, Haley Weinheimer for Northside Swim Team. Riley Gojkovic for DSMY is in lane 3. Hayden Bailey in lane 4 for DSMY. Ellie McCorkle, ACAC in lane 5. Mary Flickema Blast in lane 6. Sophia Tudor is in lane 7 for the Destroyers. And Kai Thompson is in lane 8 for ACAC. I have your event 34 qualifiers for the men's 200-yard individual medley. These are your finals qualifiers for this evening for event 34. A final qualifiers, Owen Chiles, Hayden Hakes, Parker Mako, William Gorman, Charlie Bishop, Eric Ding, Cole Wilson, and Ricky Zilmer. B finals qualifiers, Josh Fisher, Hudson Huberg, Brock Peterson, Klein Brock, Aston Givak, Owen Schwabach, Jameson Gray, Holden Carter. C finals qualifiers are Desmond Ortega, Wesley Mooney, Legan Sees, Jake Dolphin, Finn Stukerjürgen, Nolan Hunt, Jackson Smith, and Philip Barry Stolzel. Your alternates are John Cottrell and Cooper Ortega. The time is 10:29. You have 30 minutes to scratch. Heat 7. Amelia Habgood is in lane 1 for DSMY. Emma Pop for DSMY is in lane 2. Grace Wiseman for Linmar in lane 3. In lane 4, Taylor Judas, DSMY. In lane 5, Elizabeth Powers, ACAC. Kate Trosper is in lane 6 for CIA. Jenna Farwell is in lane 7. Scratch that. Athiano Wandera is in lane 8 for DSMY. Coming up, our final heat for event 35. Heat 8. Amelia Tudor is in lane 1 for the Destroyers. In lane 2, Grace Hare for Mason City. In lane 3, Colby Reese, iFly. In lane 5, Charlotte Qualley, DSMY. In lane 6, Willow Larson for Ottumwa. In lane 7, Lily Adams for Quahog Aquatics. And in lane 8, Addie DeYoung, DSMY. This is our final heat for the women's 200-yard backstroke. Coming up will be event 36, the men's 200-yard backstroke. We will have 5 heats for event 36. This is event 36, the men's 200-yard backstroke, heat 1. Swimming in heat 1, we have Gus LaRue in lane 1 for Blast. In lane 2, Remy Barton, iFly. In lane 3, Ashton Jivak, Ottumwa. In lane 4, Brock Peterson, DSMY. Josh Fisher is in lane 5 for ACAC. In lane 6, Christian Trikel for DMSF. In lane 7, Tyler Brecky Lindmar. And in lane 8, Ryan Fisher, ACAC. The finals are set for event 31, the women's 100-yard freestyle for this evening. In your C final for event 31 will be Haley Weinheimer, Kaylin Torrance, Dawson Green, Mary Selden, Kate Trosper, Tabitha Tallman, Surrey Hansen, and Emma Mason. Your alternates are Aspen Cole and Molly Snyder. In the B final, Athiana Wandera, Colby Reese, Adonai Sheehan, Kate Van Zee, Charlotte Qualley, Anna Huss, Riley Goshkovich, and Dylan Hoganson. And in your A final this evening, Hannah Gang, Faith Frantum, Willa Haig, Grace Hooper, Nora Kemp, Avery Bills Kemper, Hayden Bailey, and Brinley Woolums. Heat 2. Heat 2 of 5 is in the water for event 36. We have Ruhan Ragwani in lane 1 for Linmar. Max Mako for iFly is in lane 2. Leon Bykov for DMSF in lane 3. Nikolai Paulson, iFly, is in lane 4. Eli DeYoung, DMSF, in lane 5. Sheldon Lamb, DSMY, is in lane 6. William Fry for Dash is in lane 7. And Hudson Otis for DMSF is in lane 8. Our finalists are also set for event 33, the women's 200-yard individual medley. These are your finalists for event 33, swimming tonight. In the C final, Kimber Corwin, Mary Flickema, Julia Eastman, Jaylee Vober, Adonai Sheehan, Emma Pop, Mackenzie Lumadou, Aspen Cole. Alternates are Jenny Hedinger and Alexandra Sheehan. In the B final, Quinn Malamoreno, Mary Honkamp, Avery Billskemper, Kate Van Zee, Dawson Green, Cameron Steining, Adeline Lee, and Reese Weiner. And your A finalists for tonight for event 33, Andra Robertson, Grace Hooper, Hayden Bailey, Annie Honkamp, Willa Haig, Nora Kemp, Anya Peck, and Dylan Hoganson. Heat 3. Ethan Landon is in the water for iFly in lane 1. Gavin Hopewell for Davenport Metro in lane 2. Jonathan Miller in lane 3 for Atumwa. In lane 4, Joe Polyak for iFly. In lane 5, Dylan Alt for DSMY. The Piranhas have Caleb Stewart there in lane 6. Jackson Smith is in lane 7 for DMSF. And Zach Heyer in lane 8 for Dash. Heat 4. Parker Scuffham is in lane 1 for DSMY. Finn Stukerjürgen for CIA in lane 2. Lathan Schwickerath for DSMY is in lane 3. Parker Mako for iFly in lane 4. Tegan Renzi for ACAC in lane 5. Max Gerke is in 6 for iFly. In lane 7, Desmond Ortega for the Ram Swim Club. And in lane 8, Kosuke Matsumura for Bettendorf. Our final heat will be coming up next for event 36. Cast coach, Carroll Area Swim Team, CAST. Are you here? We are still looking for a coach from CAST. CAST, Carroll Area Swim Team. Can you send somebody over? Can the coach come over to the admin table, please? Heat 5. Final heat in the water for the men's 200-yard backstroke. John Trosper is in lane 1 for CIA. Nick Rounds is in lane 3 for DSMY. In lane 4, John Butler for Blast. Holden Carter is in lane 5 for iFly. In lane 6, Evan Foulmeyer for ACAC. Kiefer Romer for the Piranhas is in lane 7. And in lane 8, Ethan Herstedt for the Piranhas. Finals qualifiers for tonight for event 35, women's 200-yard backstroke. These are the qualifiers for the finals for the 200 backstroke event 35 for the women. Your A finals qualifiers are Charlotte Qualley, Hayden Bailey, Taylor Judas, Grace Wisenand, Kate Trosper, Colby Reese, Elizabeth Powers, and Mary Flickema. B finals qualifiers are Lily Adams, Emma Pop, Ellie McCorkle, Riley Goshkovich, Grace Hare, Julia Eastman, Haley Weinheimer, and Amelia Habgood. C finals qualifiers for event 35, Amelia Tudor, Molly Snyder, Tabitha Tallman, Addie DeYoung, Val Nunez, Katie Stone, Isabel Ernstberger, and Kimber Corwin. Alternates are Reese Weiner and Kai Thompson. The time is 10:49. You have 30 minutes to scratch. Two-minute break. The next event, event 37, will start at 10:52. This is event 37, the women's 400-yard freestyle relay, heat 1. Northside Swim Team A is in lane 3. Cohawk Aquatics Team A is in lane 4. And DMSF Team C is in lane 5. Another reminder for those who are seeking time trials after this session, your deadline's coming up at 11:18. That's about 25 minutes. If you want to do time trials today, it's $12. Your deadline is 11:18 up here at the admin table. Event 37, heat 2. Dash Team A is in lane 2. Bettendorf Team A is in lane 3. Piranhas Team B is in lane 4. In lane 5, ACAC Team B. In lane 6, Linmar Team A. In lane 7, the Piranhas C Team. And in lane 8, iFly Team C. This is event 38, the men's 400-yard freestyle relay, heat 1. And they're off. We have the Riptide Team A in lane 1. Davenport Metro Team A is in lane 2. Dash Team A is in lane 3. In lane 4 is Linmar Team A. ACAC Team B is in lane 5. The Piranhas Team B is in lane 6. iFly Team C is in lane 7. And Dash Team B is in lane 8. Thank you, swimmers. There will be a 15-minute break until we begin our miles. The top 8 seeds for the miles will swim this evening, but in 15 minutes, that's 11:21, we will have alternating finals heat 2s for the women's and then combined 1650 free events 29 and 30. Time trials deadline is in just over 10 minutes, 11:18. If you are interested in time trials, $12 per. Your deadline is 11:18 over here at the admins area. Finalists are set for event 34, the men's 200-yard individual medley. These are the finalists swimming this evening for event 34. In your C final, Zach Wenger, Brady Hartsock, Andrew Honkamp, Finn Stukerjürgen, Nolan Hunt, Briar Pearson, Charlie Jacobs, Aiden Rowe. Alternates are Landon Chen and Hudson Otis. In your B final, Wesley Mooney, Jamison Gray, Ashton Jivak, Brock Peterson, Klein Brock, Owen Schwabach, Desmond Ortega, and Jake Dolphin. And your A final swimmers for event 34, Cole Wilson, Charlie Bishop, Parker Mako, Owen Chiles, Hayden Hakes, William Gorman, Eric Ding, and Ricky Zilmer. Okay, these are your finals qualifiers for event 36, the men's 200-yard backstroke. Here are your qualifiers for this evening. A finals qualifiers are John Butler, Joe Polyak, Nick Rounds, Tegan Renzi, Evan Faulmeyer, Lathan Schwickerath, John Trosper, and Max Gerke. B finals qualifiers: Dylan Alt, Parker Mako, Jackson Smith, Holden Carter, Brock Peterson, Gavin Hopewell, Josh Fisher, Caleb Stewart. C finals qualifiers: Zach Heyer, Parker Scuffham, Kiefer Romer, Jonathan Miller, Desmond Ortega, Ashton Jivak, Eli DeYoung, and Ethan Hirschstedt. Your alternates are Kosuke Matsumura and Ethan Landon. The time is 11:13. You have 30 minutes to scratch. This is event 2930, the women's and men's senior 1650 free. We are running heat 2 for the women. And they're off. Kinsale Blaylock is in lane 1 for the Piranhas. Amber Jacobs is in lane 2 for Blast. Emma Mason for Blast in lane 3. Mia Halaskowitz for Riptide is in lane 4. Amy Hip, Piranhas in lane 5. Emerson Serban for CIA in lane 6. Lily Vanderlinden. ACAC is in lane 7. And in lane 8, Greta Huberg for Linmar. Our next heat is a combined heat of men and women for the mile. All right, our finalists are set for event 35, the 200-yard backstroke for the women for this evening. In the C final for event 35 is Reese Weiner, Isabel Ernsberger, Val Nunez, Tabitha Tallman, Addie DeYoung, Katie Stone, Kimber Corwin, and Kai Thompson. Alternates are Willow Larson, Athiano Wandera. In the B final, swimming for the 200-yard backstroke women, Amelia Tudor, Haley Weinheimer, Riley Goshkovich, Lily Adams, Emma Pop, Julia Eastman, Amelia Habgood, and Molly Snyder. And swimming in the A final for event 35, Elizabeth Powers, Kate Trosper, Taylor Judas, Charlotte Qualley, Hayden Bailey, Grace Weisenand, Colby Reese, and Mary Flickema. Swimmers can exit. Next up will be the second heat that we're running today from the combined events 29 and 30 men's and women's. We will have heat 2. It's a combined heat. Mary Honkamp is in lane 2 for DMSF, and lane 3 is Carson Bartels for the Piranhas. Claire Folden for DSMY in lane 4. Lane 6, Colby Briggs, Northside Swim Team. Ethan Herstadt for the Piranhas is in lane 7, and Owen Schwebach for DSMY is in lane 8. This is our final swim for the session.
Here's your results tonight for event 36, the men's senior 200-yard backstroke. In the C final, Hudson Otis, Max Mako, Eli DeJong, Kiefer Rimmer, Desmond Ortega, Ethan Hurstead, Finn Stukajergen, and Christian Treichel. Your B finalists tonight, Zach Heyer, Gavin Hopewell, Holden Carter, Dylan Alt, Jackson Smith, Brock Peterson, Caleb Stewart, and Parker Scuffham. Your A finalists tonight, John Trosper, Evan Fielmeyer, Nick Rounds, John Butler, Joe Poyak, Tegan Renzi, Lathan Schwickerath, and Max Gerke. Your alternates tonight are Leon Bykoff and William Fry.
Time trials will start at 12:18. 12:18. Thank you.